Hello, and welcome back to Real Talk with a Realtor, building a WISCO-LIFE. This is Lindsay Knapp, and I am servicing the area as a Realtor in the Kenosha County, Racine County, Milwaukee County, Walworth County. They're all fun, and lots of places in between. So today we're going to be talking about paperwork as you enter into agreements with a Realtor, someone who is a licensed real estate professional. You are a home buyer. You would like to start looking at houses. Someone is presenting you with a document. Why? What's happening? So let's talk about it. Well, recently the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, came up with a new practice that has been established in the world of real estate to protect home buyers and to benefit them as they begin to move forward into the transaction process of home buying. So this is now a set practice. It is established and it is legally required of agents and home buyers to enter into some form of an agreement. So what are these agreements? How do they benefit you? And how can you utilize them to the best suiting of your needs? Well, the pre-agency showing agreement is a 2-pager, a real lightweight. And this I like to call a door opener agreement. This is essentially stating that because we have to sign an agreement to legally enter into the premise of a house with a licensed real estate agent, all I really want to do is have someone open the door for me so I can view this property. And that is what this will do for you. It'll get an agent to unlock a code for you to find you the home that you would like to view. And there will be a warm body there that is a licensed real estate agent moving you in that direction. I just want to really quickly state, according to this agreement, a buyer in pre-agency is not a client or a customer of the real estate firm and its agents. In pre-agency, the firm and its agents may provide the buyer services such as showing properties and act as a neutral information provider. The firm cannot negotiate for the buyer. And then down here in big letters, big bold letters, it says this is not an agency agreement. This agreement does not authorize an agent to draft an offer to purchase. So you may sign this because you want to walk through a house. It gives you access to a property, but it does not give you access to a partnership, which is what this agreement is. This is called buyer agency agreement. And if I am working with someone, I will typically say, hello, let me explain to you why we need to sign agreements. This is now standard practice within the home buying process. Really important for both of us to understand. And here is why. Okay. First, this agreement is going to help clarify our relationship and its set expectations. It outlines what I, as a buyer's agent, am going to do to help you find the right home according to your criteria. I'm going to use all the tools available to me through the MLS, through my agency, through my brokerage, through my network. And it also ensures that we are on the same page about what you're going to be getting from my services. So let's define the relationship. That's kind of what this agreement is. Secondly, it is going to provide legal protection for both of us. So it ensures that any buyer's agent that is working their butt off to try to find the right home for their buyers is being compensated for their time and their efforts. And it also outlines how that works. So for you, as the home buyer, it makes sure that you are very clear on any commissions or fees or structures up front ahead of time. How much is my buyer's agent going to get paid? Typically by the seller. So the seller traditionally pays the buyer's agent to bring buyers to the table. That's the service they're providing. And a seller incentivizes typically by paying their commission and saying, yeah, if you bring a buyer along, we'll pay the commission. So a lot of buyers, home buyers, don't pay their buyer's agent. Doesn't mean it never happens, but this will help outline that. Okay. So knowing what this says is a big deal. The agreement also clears up something very important called agency. Now, agency is a word that flops around real estate terms. Not everyone understands there's different types of agency that can work for you to benefit you based on your needs. So it'll explain whether I am acting exclusively as your buyer's agent. You are my client. I am your agent. I am in your corner. Rocky's going to win. That's what buyer agency is versus an agent that is representing both the seller and the buyer, which suddenly becomes the language of neutrality for an agent. They are not really allowed to lean one way or the other. They must remain very objective under those terms. So again, this will help identify what type of agency you as a home buyer would like to settle into. Additionally, the agreement is going to include confidentiality clauses so that you can feel secure that you're sharing your information. We are bound by contract to make sure that that information stays confidential. Financial information, personal information stays confidential according to code of ethics by realtors and according to a contract that will stand up in a court of law. So it's really to help the home buyer feel secure. And lastly, the signing of this agreement will show your commitment to me working with you as your agent. It allows me to focus on helping you find the perfect home according to your criteria, as well as really tune in, fine tune, and narrow in on my services to my clients. So clients take priority of my time, brain space, and effort. It's not just a customer who gets my leftovers at the end of the day. It's not dual agency where I can't really speak up on one side or the other. This is where we begin to actually enter into a partnership. So pre-agency, enter into a property. Buyer agency, enter into a partnership with someone who's going to be in your corner. So why? Why do we need a buyer's agent? Why don't we just do dual agency? Why anything, right? So I just want to give you the 5 things that I think are so important from a buyer's agent that can benefit the home buyer. And sometimes you don't know you have these options. So I feel like it's very important that you know what you're getting and how to define a good buyer's agent. Both of these agreements, extremely flexible. Okay, extremely flexible. You could sign an agreement for one property only, for one showing only. This is not, you're not bound to the ends of time through marriage and the giving away of your first child to whoever you sign this agreement with. This is very, very flexible. If the partnership doesn't seem to be jiving, doesn't seem to be working out, you cannot get a hold of your agent, you lost 2 houses because they never return your calls, you can get out of your agreements, okay? So this is not like a blood contract, okay? It just is giving us parameters that will hold up in a state of court that say, I either did my job really well for you or I didn't, right? So we want to protect home buyers. Now, the things that we're bringing to the table as buyer's agents is a form of expert guidance and advice. So where someone is going to end up being a dual agent, they have taken their right to advise you off the table because it does not remain neutral. The only advice that they can give is pretty much what you could read on the internet yourself. So if you really want someone who has leaned into the business, that understands the psychology of things, that really understands how someone might be framing it, that's going to be really helpful to have the inside scoop. So they have lengths of years around the home buying process. They understand how it all works, the entire transaction train, and it really helps a home buyer navigate the market, the process, the current trends, and help them make informed decisions. So it's a coach. It's basically a coach over there in your corner. Access to listings, access to contractors, access to title companies, access to lenders, access. That is what buyer's agents have. It's a big deal. They have a network. You should lean into it. It will benefit you. So they have access to wide ranges of listings, including homes that might not even publicly be on the market yet, but it does give buyers a broader selection of properties to consider. The third thing are the negotiating skills. So when a buyer's agent enters into the arena of negotiation, they are very well practiced. They understand the language that needs to be used. They are listening to their client for what their needs are and representing them with integrity, representing them all the way through to the finish line. There's also going to be times where they advise you in the negotiating process, this will get us across the finish line. So it is an incredible dynamic partnership that you can have with a buyer's agent. They ensure that you're going to be getting the best deal possible. They understand how to deal with price, contingencies, repairs, any other terms of the sale, negotiating skills. And then fourth is going to be their market knowledge. So market knowledge is essentially what's the value of this neighborhood? What's the resale value? What are the pricing trends? And what's the property going to be valued at? Which really does help buyers find homes that meet both their budget needs, their financial needs, as well as their lifestyle preferences. And then lastly, just because we're going to round it out with that odd number 5 bullet points here, handling paperwork. Nobody wants to do it. It's like doing your taxes by yourself. You just want to pay somebody to do it. Handling the paperwork is one of the best ways to eliminate stress through a transaction. So the agent takes care of that complex process of ensuring that all documents are completely filed correctly, are completed correctly, and it does end up helping reduce the stress and legal risks of the buyer. So they are really taking the brunt on that end. They are the ones communicating with title companies, lenders, the contractors, lien waivers, all of the things that need to be put together in an organized, thoughtful, intentional, timely, legal way. So hopefully this is helpful when an agent that you're working with is presenting you with paperwork before you ever even open the door. Now you understand why. We are legally obligated by the National Association of Realtors to make sure that we have entered into some type of agreement, be it very, very, very minimal, just open the door so we can walk through the property, to I really want to work with the expert level and skill set of this agent, and I want to partner with them. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. Either you're going to be signing an agreement for a property showing, or you're signing an agreement to take on a partner to work for you in your corner. Either way, got to do it legal, got to do it well. So don't be afraid when someone hands you a documentation, and now you're a little bit more equipped on what they actually mean. So there you go.